Hello and welcome to the Will to Win podcast. This is Alex Muir, helping millennial professionals reach peak mental and physical performance. In today's episode of our special guest series, we have the CEO and founder of Innovate Tech Charlotte, Paul Day. Paul Day is a previous U.S. Air Force military veteran that holds a top secret government clearance with multiple degrees in computer science, cybersecurity, and investigations. Paul also has multiple certifications in blockchain, AI, and IoT, and works with governments, corporations, and schools. Paul has done cybersecurity and ethical hacking for the top Fortune 500 companies in the world, and is now the CEO founder of a nonprofit called Innovate Tech Charlotte. Innovate Tech Charlotte is the most innovative STEM education program in the world, teaching emerging technologies to high school students while helping students get employed after high school without the need for a college degree in computer science. Innovate Tech Charlotte is like college, except without leaving students in 30 years of debt. Paul is a technology visionary and speaker who is considered one of the greatest technology communicators in the world, professing that his purpose is to serve humanity. Paul is currently working on his book called 7 Technology Success Secrets for All Ages. Paul also has a for-profit private business helping companies and government on AI, IoT, and blockchain. Paul's warm smile, obsession for technology, and his passion for greatness makes him unforgettable, amazing, and unique. Please welcome Paul Day. And this episode is brought to you by RadioGuestList.com, the #1 free radio guest, podcast, and talk show guest expert interview booking service on the internet. Today on the Will to Win podcast, I'm super happy that you reached out to me because technology, as you know, is a really big thing going on right now. Technology is changing at a rapid pace, and especially since I saw that you help students coming out of high school transition into the workforce this way, utilizing technology and building up those skills to be more valuable in to the marketplace. That is incredible, and I'm very intrigued by what you might have to say about that. And I also noticed that you're also you served as a U.S. Air Force military veteran as well.
That's correct.
Yeah, and how long ago was that?
So that was in the early 2000s. I went into the Air Force, and while I was with the Air Force, did a lot of cool things. A lot of 3-letter agencies, and worked with some generals as well. So had a great time. We did some flying missions overseas as well. So it was great.
Wow, that's incredible. And where did you go when you were overseas?
Some of the places that we went to and some of the missions we did, I can't speak about, but it was.
All confidential for sure.
Some places were in the desert, and because not even my wife knows about the places we went, and when we were leaving or when we were coming back as well. So, but I had a great time in the military. Met some cool and awesome people, and I met my wife in the military too.
Really? That's incredible. Awesome. That's really cool. And how long have you and your wife been married for?
Me and my wife, we've been married for 10 years this year.
Yeah, oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And that's so cool that you guys met in the same, line of work too. That's really incredible.
Yeah. And right after,
really cool.
If you don't mind me going into this, tell you a little bit more about myself.
No, for sure.
So, right after the Air Force, I got into technology more and realized that I had a gift for technology, and I was able to learn it at a rapid rate, and I was able to learn technology really fast. So I actually started doing more cybersecurity and started getting certifications. I became an ethical hacker for Fortune 500 companies. And then I got into something called blockchain. And then I started getting into Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. And those things changed my life, because I'm considered one of the leading technology communicators in the world. So this is a way of life for me. I'm obsessed with technology.
Yeah, no, and I feel you on that one. I'm very obsessed with technology as well. It's just there's so many different ways it can improve our lives, right? And based on what I was reading and what you've told me on these all these different types of technology that can help improve the world and improve people's
Hmm.
skill set, it can be, it can really make a lot of change very
Right,
rapidly in some
right. That's
cases,
right.
right? Yeah. Yeah. And especially, I want to talk about the STEM, high school STEM at Innovate
Hmm.
Tech Charlotte. What does that STEM start with or what is that STEM
Yes.
program again?
Um, so So first of all, let me explain what STEM is. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math, and that's for your viewers that may not know
Uh,
what STEM is. And on top of that, we got started in 2017 when Amazon was looking for a second headquarters, and they came to Charlotte, North Carolina, and they decided not to be here. And that was because they said we didn't have the technology talent. So I wanted to change that. And now with our program, what we're doing, we have a nonprofit after school program, a STEM program for high school students. And with that high school program, we're doing something special that no one else in the world is doing, and we expect that this will be the future of learning um, through all schools. We're helping them earn certifications in what's called these emerging technologies, and we're helping them get internships with some of these large companies. So after they don't have to go directly into college, we believe that the future of technology is not just going to college, but in the future, students won't go into college for technology. They'll go straight into their career fields like what we're doing. And we're not telling them not to go to college, but we're saying let's be a little bit smarter about it and get a job with some of these large companies that we have here. And then they will pay for your college if you want to go to college. And the way
yeah,
um,
that's yeah. Oh, go
the way
ahead.
we
Yep.
look at our program from the top down is like a college except without 25 to 30 years of debt, because 25 to 30 years of debt is serious. We don't want our students to start their lives off in debt.
No, no, for sure. Like, and when you're carrying that amount of debt coming out of university, because from what I've heard, a lot of students are coming out of university between anywhere between 50 and 100,000 or more in
Yep.
debt to try and get these professional designations or certifications or degrees, like you said. And that is just you're starting off your career or your life after college in the hole. And during that time after college, you might get married, have kids fairly early, and that's just putting you in a very vulnerable position. And then if we have a crisis like we have now with the COVID
Yep.
19, and people are having a family, starting a family, and all this debt. It just makes things a lot
Right.
tougher and a lot more stress. It can be, you can get through it, but it just puts you in a lot more tougher position. And if there's ways to counteract that with different education and a different route, then that would be incredible for people, especially the younger generation, because I know there's a lot of talent out
Right.
there, and this is an excellent catalyst for these students'
Yeah.
potential.
And like I said, we're the first one in the world to do anything like this, and I have people in even universities, calling me and emailing me from East India, China, Africa recently, trying to figure out how we can get our program over there, which is a little bit tougher because of the time difference. So that's one thing we're trying to
That's
work
right.
out right now.
Yeah, yeah. Because as soon as you reached out to me, I was like, this is so unique, and this is something I've never like the way when I was looking at your website and the company. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that movie for that coder. He has a computer science background for the military as well. He's a famous guy. I forget the movie, but it'll come back to me later, I think.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm interested in knowing what
yeah,
it
he
is.
did. Yeah, I forget the name, but he had a background in computer science and like went into the military and did like, heavy duty computer coding and stuff. And it was like a rigorous program. I think it was in Virginia or something like
Hmm.
that, for the
Okay.
CIA. But like a lot of the same stuff you're talking about. So that's kind of how I was able to put the pieces together with the type of education that you need. Because this is very laser focused technology education was what you're providing,
Right.
right? And you're totally right. This is the future, and that's why I was like so happy to have you on because yeah, like where so this is where you think things are going, eh? Is like the
Yep.
cryptocurrency, the yeah, all this kind of stuff. And what was the other
So
stuff here?
first is
Yeah,
blockchain, artificial intelligence,
blockchain.
Internet
Yeah.
of Things. We also do some leadership training as well, and we talk to them about quantum computing. We don't give them certs in quantum computing, but we talk to them about the future of quantum computing, how that will be the future as well.
Yeah, and that's like so it's saying here that it's new computers that can help figure out difficult medical and economic
That's
problems.
right.
So it can help with it. That's very interesting. And then like helping with like end
Yep.
hunger. How could a computer help end hunger? Like what kind of data needs to be documented to like track, what countries might need more food than others and stuff like that. Like how does that all work?
So first, quantum computers, the way they actually work, and there's only but a few in the world, and they don't have them at a level where this is possible yet, but they do have them. But quantum computers, and I'll give you an example. In our world, for a computer, it's either on or off. It's either black or white. It's either one or zeros. What a quantum computer does, if you look at on or off, it's saying like it can do both on or off. So, or if you say let's look at possibilities in terms of or probability in terms of a coin. If you flip a coin, you can say, well, it's going to be heads or tails. But quantum computing says no, it's heads and tails at the same time. So it uses a mathematical formula that is beyond what a normal computer can do. It uses computing power that a normal computer just can't get to. And through that, there are formulas for diseases, formulas for medicine that we can't figure out because we don't have the computing power. And with a quantum computer saying it could be this or that, and then figuring out how it works together, that's how a quantum computer can figure out, medicine and help people and hunger and everything else, and even come up with new food
Wow. Yeah.
ways. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really incredible. Yeah. So it's giving you all the options versus just being restricted to a few options with regular computing.
Yes, that's correct. Because, like I said, regular computer only but can compute so much before it says, "All right, I just can't do it." And just a
Right,
quick
right.
example, one problem that a quantum computer can figure out, it would take a what's called classical or a computer now 1 billion years to figure out. Just to give you an example.
Yeah, yeah. That's wow. That's incredible. And the Internet of Things, the way I see that, is that kind of like Bluetooth, all Bluetooth connected devices, or is it something larger scale than
So no,
that?
no, you're right on point. It's like Alexa or
Yeah.
Google, Google Home, and it's just connected to so that device. It's just devices connected to each other. So it's your lights connected to your refrigerator connected to your
Yeah.
garage, and you're able to control that with either a word or an app or push of a button. So they're all connected.
Yeah, yeah, they're saying I don't know if you follow Gary Vaynerchuk at all or some of his stuff, but every now and again I listen to his stuff or read his stuff. And one thing that he did talk about that I found very interesting was the future of tech as far as like selling products and such in the Internet of Things space. He said our voice controlled and activated technology is going to be a big thing in the future. And I can already see it as far as education goes. Like, I love podcasting and I love learning from podcasts and learning from audiobooks.
I like audio.
I don't know if you, yeah, and it's such a different way to learn, and you can still get your bang for your buck you can still take notes and stuff as you're listening,
Yep.
right? So it's a win-win. So the biggest thing that I've noticed with myself is over, I'd say, the last 5 years, I've just noticed a change in how I want to learn. Like, I'm like, well, why would I want to spend all this? I mean, I get that reading, paper is really important. It is really important. And I'll never stop reading paperback books. But I've just noticed I'm just so much more drawn to audio format, and then writing notes and jotting notes as I go. I don't know. Have you noticed that trend with your students as well, or other coworkers, colleagues?
So I'll tell you this: in my vehicle, I don't listen to the radio. All I listen to is audiobooks. Just
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I have to learn things at a high level and I have to take in a lot of information, and I just don't have the time in the day to keep reading, a physical book or paperback book.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
that's especially podcasts. This is the future. Like, it died out years ago,
yeah,
but it's coming back because people are driving more and people want to
yep,
listen more to podcasts and get educated.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure. And yeah, it's almost like it's had a little revival, because it really only started, podcasting only really got popular in, like, what it was, it like 2010 or 2012. It was pretty
Yep.
late. They've been pretty late to the game, but it is definitely taking over radio. Like, I never listen to radio as well. It's always audiobooks or podcasts every
And the
time.
thing I don't like about
Um,
radio is all the commercials, and they get all loud, and it's just like, oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So the way I'm seeing things, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I'm seeing things nowadays is, let's say over the next 5 to 10 years, there's gonna still be the same amount of advertising, but we get to choose how we're advertised to,
yes,
because of what we're listening to. Because everyone's specialized in something.
yes,
And because we're specialized in something, we're trying to specialize our education in that something.
yes,
So the way we're fed advertising and information and products, but it's going to be curated advertising and curated products
yes.
for exactly what you want, not for all this other stuff that you're like, what? Like, I don't want to talk about getting a couch or a bed. When I'm thinking about fitness, or when I'm thinking about education, right? I want to be fed ads and thinking about, not what I don't want, right?
Right.
So I feel like the times are dwindling over, of the times when we were fed ads that just were irrelevant and not related to what we're looking for. Nowadays, and then in the future, I believe that everything's going to be very specialized and curated to exactly what we're looking for.
Right, and I agree with that. That's part of blockchain, where blockchain is saying that the power belongs to the people, and part of that, the power belongs to the people, is that everything will be specialized, everything will be broken down for that particular person and their needs, where people will, in the future, have the power to say, I don't want this information. This is what I want to see more and more. And
Hmm.
as advertisers get smarter, you're absolutely correct. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah, and another thing too is the mobile. Everyone's on their mobile. So
Hmm.
another thing, one of my friends from work, he really loves technology as well. So we're always talking about different trends and such. And I'm noticing that laptops are getting more and more expensive, but people are buying them less.
Hmm.
So they're in less demand, but the price is going up for laptops. These are just regular laptops. We're not even talking Apple or anything high end. And people are actually getting tablets and getting the keyboards and the mouses to connect Bluetooth, wirelessly, to small tablets. I have my girlfriend got me a Amazon Kindle, and it's a Amazon Fire 8, And I've been using that, yeah, anytime I'm at the coffee shop and stuff, back when we could go to the coffee shop the last little while ago, and using that with a Logitech, wireless keyboard, and then the Logitech mouse.
Yep.
And just because I don't want to haul around my laptop, right? I want everything mobile and easy of access. So that's another thing that I find really interesting too, is like people don't, like if they don't want to spend all that extra money on a laptop if they're going to be, predominantly mobile, and they need that flexibility. So,
And I'll tell you about since you really like technology. One of the things that I talk about a little bit more now, which is a new emerging technology, is called human augmentation. And I'll say that again. It's called human augmentation. And there's a physical part of it, and there's a cognitive or mental part of human augmentation. And with the cognitive part, it's like the Tesla. What's his name? The
oh, Elon
CEO of
Musk.
Tesla. Yes, I couldn't remember his name. Elon Musk. He has some neurons that he can kind of plug into your head without it being surgery, invasive surgery, and you can control things through your thoughts. So that's the future. And cell phones and tablets and computers will be eliminated in the future because it will be all through your eyes and thoughts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, you know what? It's bringing me back to the way things are going and what's going to happen in the future. It's bringing me back to that movie, Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
Yeah, I love that movie.
when he's got the gloves on and he's like making like holograms and stuff, right? And
Right.
blueprints and then he's got the glasses on. And then when he goes shopping, when he's in the mall, it literally gives a retina eye scanner, scans everyone that's coming into the shopping mall, and then they just see everything digitally. That's where I feel like things could possibly be going, and shopping malls, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Like where do you see the future of buying groceries or
Oh, I'm glad you
going
asked
into the
that.
mall? Yeah.
So there's another newer technology, emerging tech called autonomous things, and through autonomous things they have autonomous shops, and such as Amazon Go is one of them, and there's a few of them there's a few other ones out there, but you don't have to have a you don't have to have any type of payments. You don't have to do a payment right at their cash register. So it's cash register list, and all you do is pick up what you want and you leave with it, which is amazing. And for the record, I consider myself a visionary in this field of technology. Shopping malls will be changed in the future. In the future, shopping malls will be for just entertainment purposes only, in
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
clubs or stuff like that. But in the future, people won't go to shopping malls to shop. They'll call it something else, but it'll be big places where people can get together and do some cool stuff and have fun.
Yeah, yeah, more like you said, yeah, entertainment and social gathering than
Yep.
anything else. Yeah,
Yep. Like
because
laser tag or something like that.
yeah, exactly. Because people, what I'm seeing is like economically, to me, it just doesn't make sense nowadays. With people don't have the buying power that they used to. People are not making the same amount of money that they used to. But I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and he says people are. We're learning faster than ever, but our buying power and our financial power is the least amount than ever.
That's right.
So because of technology, yeah, we're learning faster. Things are on a very fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also saying businesses are not lasting. It's not like this, like when older businesses, when they're lasting 50 to 100 or 150 years.
Yep.
It's like they said it's going down further and further and further, and the average life expectancy of a thriving business today is 18 years. And to me, that still seems, it's a decent amount of time, but it doesn't seem, it's that like going from 45 years down to an average lifespan of 18, that's not a long time. That means technology is changing the game forever.
Right. And let me say this to you. This is a statement, my own personal statement that I say to companies when I do speaking engagements. I always tell them, and I speak to larger companies, and I always tell them that this is the day and age of information, and in this day of
Hmm.
information, we have what's called the digital revolution, and with this digital revolution, whoever can control information will control or leverage that information to control or lead the masses. We have examples saying that if you do not innovate, if you do not digitally transform your company, your people, and your clients, you won't have a business, because we know what happened to Blockbuster. We know what
Yeah.
happened to the taxi service. We know about Airbnb. So we know about these companies and these younger folks that understood the wave in innovation, and they took advantage of that.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you because for myself, I want to be on this upward wave.
Yep.
I want to ride this wave of technology, right? Utilize the different mediums. My favorite ways of kind of getting my message out there is podcasting because I get to interact with people like yourself.
Hmm.
It gets me really amped up and energetic about the future because there's a lot of different people doing a lot of different things, and I want to know kind of what's emerging and what's happening next because I'm still young and I've got a lot to learn, but I know I'm onto something with this podcasting
Oh,
and
you
just
are.
testing, and you got to experiment nowadays with different tech
Yep.
because it could be gone tomorrow, right?
That's right.
And I would have rather taken those steps to try a certain medium or platform,
Right.
and then because you just never know when it could surge forward, and you could gain a lot of notoriety, digital notoriety, and be able, like you said, to be able to build your own tribe, right,
Yep.
of
Yep.
followers, and then lead them to, and then all together as a tribe go towards that common goal, right? Whatever that goal is for what people are looking to do.
And,
But
and I believe in being intentional about it. There's so
mhm.
many older companies that for so long, they've been saying, hey, we have our clients, we don't really care about, social media. We don't care about podcasts. We don't care about all these newer platforms or how we can help our business digitally. But now it's either they're going to have to go out of business, which, I mean, if you're trying to do it now and you're a larger company, you're going to be hurting.
Yeah.
Or, you're going to have to try to figure it out. So there's no way around it now.
Yeah, no, there isn't. Like in some way, shape, or form, you have to get out there, and it can't just be like it can't just be email marketing and all that kind of stuff. Like that still works, but I just feel like you need to vary the mediums and the platforms that you use way more today to
Right.
be able to really gain any kind of traction because people are like, because I've been in sales the last 6 years, and I've even noticed a huge difference in how people are responding to, either solicitations or just presentations. People all want to. I'm noticing they don't want to spend as much time on the phone.
Yep.
They still want to hear from you, but they would rather have curated information in presentation format,
Yep.
via email, so they can look at it and make sure it's what they're looking for, and then we build off that relationship that way.
Right.
So we have to give something to get a response back. You can't just
Yep.
make the calls continuously expecting to get the same result. It doesn't work like that anymore.
Right.
People need that something, that curated information that's going to help them. And if you don't give them something of substance that's related to what their company or their team needs, then you're just not going to get
Right.
that feedback.
And, and I'll give you a prediction really quick. And I'm gonna give this to you. And I haven't really given this to anybody else, but my prediction is that through this pandemic, this is actually not the worst part of the pandemic. And I'm not talking about actually the pandemic. I'm talking about what's happening in terms of people getting laid off and people not being able to digitally transform or come into the times. What's actually going to be the worst part is after this is over, because business will not be the same. Corporate America will not be the same. These large
Mm-hmm.
Fortune 1,000, 500s, 100s will not be the same. And they're too top heavy. And most of those people, unfortunately, will have to get cut and laid off even more, which
Mm-hmm.
these companies are going to try to go more digital now. I mean, through AI automation, they're going to automate things. It's the world is about to change, but people think that everything's going to go back to normal. But I'm telling you here
No.
today that it's not. Everything's going to change
It,
forever.
yeah, yeah. And I feel now more than ever, like, even though, yeah, I'm someone to get laid off like a while ago,
Mhm.
mid-March. But that's why I've been wanting to, I've still been getting up early and everything, just like I was going to
Yep.
work, because I'm like, I need to learn. I need to use this time to re-educate
Yep.
myself, redirect. It's like a pivot. I'm kind of trying to, during this crisis, I'm using this time to make possibly a career pivot,
That's
because
right.
I'm like, podcasting to me, there is ways to make it a full-time career.
Yes.
I know people, like, I listen to Tim Ferriss's podcast, and then the John Lee Dumas
Mhm.
on Entrepreneurs on Fire.
Mhm.
They both interview people, like, uh, I'd say twice a week. They do 2 interviews a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. But you can make a career out of that. And the way you make a career out of it is you build your following, you build your audience, and then the advertisers come to you
That's
because they
right.
want to get airtime,
That's
right?
right.
And if you've got someone's time and attention for like 2 hours, right? A
Mhm.
lot of these podcasts are anywhere between, let's say, 15 minutes and 2 hours. That's a lot of time to get in, whatever, a 10 or 15 to 30-second ad space.
That's
So
right.
that's how people can make a career out of utilizing technology. And podcasting is just one example, but I love podcasting and I love YouTube, and those are the two platforms that I really want to learn
Right.
inside and out. And then again, if things change and they're gone all of a sudden, then I'll do another pivot and I'll try something else. But I know that as long as I keep utilizing technology and learning all about all the different types of technology that are at our disposal, I know I'm going to be onto something. Because, like yourself, my dream is to build something online,
Mhm.
build my business online, entirely online, so it's automated.
Yep.
Because my whole focus is on building this system that's entirely automated and online, so I can reach a time in my life, whenever that is, when I'm like, you know what, I don't want to work as much, or I just want to cut down my hours.
Mhm.
I'll always work, I'll never retire, but I always want to, have that flexibility that, I want to take the week off,
Right.
because I've been building this system continuously, let's say for the last 7 to 10 years.
Yep.
That's what I want to build. Is that automated system. And that's really what business is. It's creating a system that
That's
learning how to create a system that runs itself. Right.
that's right. There is a book, and it's all about systems. The E Myth. Yeah, that's what it's called. The E Myth.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah. Yeah.
love the E Myth, and how they break down that McDonald's is one of the greatest systems ever, because the way they built it. They don't make the best burgers in the world, and we all know that. They don't have the best
Yeah.
fries in the
Yeah. Yeah.
world, but it's their systems that they have that
Yeah.
is just they're just airtight.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I find fascinating about business. Like, when I've talked to people, the way my dad explained it to me from the books that he read and the people that he's encountered is, he's like, Alex, you need to be good at, two things, in life, to be really, really successful. And he's like, you got to be good at managing people, managing money, or a combination of both.
Hmm.
But nowadays, the way I see it is it's kind of the same philosophy, but it's like you need to be good at managing people, managing money, but also managing a system or building a system.
Yep, project management.
Um,
That's what that is.
yep, project
Managing money,
management. Yeah,
time,
and
people, and resources.
yep, exactly. And that's kind of where I'm trying to go down.
Mhm.
That path is like, I know I'm really good at interacting with people, and I have this fascination with learning about people and how they live and how they build a successful life for themselves. But I know, by learning about how to build my own system to allow those people in, right, and interact with those people, that's a way for me to build my own business, is kind of, like through my marketing message, and my message to people is, helping millennial professionals reach peak mental and physical performance. That was just kind of, I was trying to figure out what my tagline would
Yeah, that's
be.
great.
And I just came up with it. Like, it was literally within the last, in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to reiterate that message over and over again in my on my YouTube channel, and then on the podcast, right? Because that's why I want to have on my guests, because I want to help the younger generation,
Right.
people my age, a little bit older and a little bit younger, like kind of like how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, some people don't have the parents, they don't have a mom or a dad telling them these things and be like, hey, this is the next wave, this is the next thing that's going to happen. And if you test it out, if you try it, you could become very successful.
That's right.
So it's like, I'm trying to mentally prepare, physically and mentally prepare the next generation for their health and for building their wealth,
Right.
Psychologically, or psychology and physiology. And that's kind of what my message is to really, help people that way. Like,
That's amazing.
education. Yeah.
Yeah, because we know that if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So it actually does start with health.
It does.
Because I mean, if you're not healthy, you can't do anything. So
You can't help anyone.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very important. Health is very important.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know a lot of business people that they're very successful, but they let their health take a back seat, and now they're suffering majorly because of it. And I'm just someone, like, I can't do that. If my health suffers first, I am no use to my business or my tribe or my clients.
And that's part of being a leader.
In order for me, yeah, exactly. It's like, you gotta know kind of those personal flaws. Like, for myself, I just know I'm ineffective when I'm not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I always put my health at the forefront, and because I'm healthy, because I'm got that energy, that's how I can best serve my clients and my future tribe, is having that energy and that enthusiasm and that zest for life. And then that all stems from living a healthy lifestyle as best you can.
And I'm glad you said that, because when I wake up, which some of your viewers may think I'm crazy, but I don't listen. I don't watch the TV. I don't watch TV, especially when I first wake up, because when you wake up, your brain is still in that sleep state. So anything you see or take in at that time, it actually has an imprint on you, even heavier. So the first thing I do when I wake up is, I'll drink my water with lemon in it. Then I'll come work out. I have a kettlebell at home, so I do a kettlebell workout, and then I'll meditate and pray, because meditation, I'm about vibrations and energy, and I believe that everything in the universe vibrates, and you can change your vibration, and change your energy in that state, which you can switch a state, whatever state you're in, to go to a higher state and live at a higher state, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So meditation is perfect for focus. If you have a child that may have a hard time focusing, help them to meditate. Meditate is a focus. Meditation goes from, if you have a hand, it goes from a open hand to a closed fist. It goes from a light to a laser. Meditation and focus is very important every single day.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't know if what's kind of like your meditation philosophy? Do you use any apps, or do you just sit there silently for, let's say, 5 to 20 minutes? What's your routine?
So sometimes I'll sit silently, and I clear my mind, so I don't think about anything. And that's the toughest thing for people to do. And it took me a while to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Clear your mind where you're
it takes time.
right, where you shut your mind down and you're not thinking about anything. It's blank. And when you get in this state, for me, I can feel I call it the inner me. And I can feel this energy, and it surrounds me. It's difficult to explain, but it happens to me when I'm in this deep meditation state. But yeah, I normally don't use music, but some days I will. I'll do this where it lines up my chakras. Sometimes I do something like that as well. What do you do?
Right on. Yeah. I actually been using the meditation app, Headspace,
Okay, I know.
by Andy Honeycomb. I think he's British or Australian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's got this super soothing voice, and and at first, like, and like, this was also when I was listening to Tim Ferriss's podcast, and I started meditation, I would say beginning of 2018. Um, and I've logged, like, because it tracks all your sessions, and then it streaks. It shows your streak, and it's such a well-designed app that ever since I started using it, like yourself, it took me time. It took me, I'd say, a few weeks to get adjusted to being completely silent,
Right.
because it takes time to silence your mind,
Yep.
right? You really gotta focus on that breathing.
Right.
So that's something I got very good at, is focusing on my breathing. And it's almost like the second that nowadays, because I've been doing it so many sessions, I think I've logged 700 sessions.
Wow.
But these are short. These are because I'm all about consistency nowadays, right? Before, when I was younger, I was like, no, all out effort, 110% every time. That doesn't work. That mentality, to be truly successful and live a life of longevity, you got to do things consistently for lesser periods of time. Yep. It's all about intensity over duration. Yep. It's intensity and frequency of intensity that matters.
I agree.
Like you said, the focus and the meditation, that's how you develop your focus, is just the Pomodoro technique, right? Breaking your hours into half hours, or breaking those half hours into 15 minutes. Yep. Then you got 4 sessions of 15 minutes or 2 sessions of 30 minutes, right? Yep. And then you're doing your most, whatever is high in your priority list, those top 2 or top 3 things during the day. Or like that author says, that your one thing. I agree. What is your one thing you need to get done today that's going to move the needle for you in your business or your relationship or whatever else? But using the Headspace app, I've been using it for the last little while, and I meditate for 5 minutes every morning. If I'm feeling really bogged down mentally, I'll do 10 minutes. I'll just sit there for 10 minutes and just focus all on the breathing. Takes about 30 seconds to a minute for me to kind of, get everything out of my head. And then once it's past a minute, then it's like I'm outside of myself. Right. It's like an out of body experience. Right. Like, just like you were saying.
It's tough to explain that to people. It's one of those things that you have to experience to really understand what we mean when you can feel that energy. It's like the inner you, the inner me, I call it. It's weird. There's no way you can really explain it.
It's crazy. No, yeah. And there's a lot of larger and larger body of research coming out that's surfacing about meditation and how good it is for our brain. Because what it does for our brain is it increases the neuroplasticity in our brain. So it's continually creating new pathways in our brain that's making us smarter, have more empathy. It does just so many good things for the brain. It helps you connect more with people, even at a time where people are not connecting as much as they normally do because of the crisis that's going on. But even before this, with technology and how fast it's changing and evolving, meditation just helps you. It brings you back to those roots of, like, when people just used to connect and we had no technology. That's kind of what it does. It, like, brings you back to the bare bones and just, social interaction, right? Face to face. Yeah.
Take quantum computing or quantum physics, which I'll add the computing part in there, but quantum physics say we're all connected, and I'll use that to talk about, like, vibrations, and everything is energy, everything is moving. Even if it looks solid, everything actually is moving. And then I'll go into explaining love. What love is to me is raising or lowering one's vibration to live through something and experience what that thing is experiencing. You can experience what a tree is experiencing. You can experience what a person is experiencing. So, in quantum computing proves all of that stuff. That string theory, that everything is connected, that you are alive and dead at the same time, that you are not just in one place, but through meditation, you can experience things through energy and be there physically without actually being there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool stuff with
I like that. Yeah. And then I I think you already briefly touched on it earlier there, Paul, about the how you got your start into technology. It was after the military.
That's right.
But did you have any, when you're if you were in college or when you were in college, did you have any inkling for how was that technology passion built? What was that like aha moment where you're like, oh my God, like, I'm destined for this.
To be honest with you, when I when I was probably I'm in my 30s now.
Hmm.
When I was in my I would say 1920 maybe, probably around there. I just took a computer apart, every single bit of it, and then I put it all back together again. And someone told me, it was like, well, you did that on your own. And they asked me, like, well, have you ever done computers before? I said, no, I just did it because I just was curious. I just wanted to see what was in it and how to take it all apart. And they told me that I had a gift. And from then I started looking into it. And it's just been very easy for me. And when I say easy, that doesn't mean like I'm saying like, oh, I could just rest and because I'm good. No, I work 10 times as hard because I know that I do have a gift for technology, and
Hmm.
with that gift I choose to change lives. The way I look at digital transformation is changing lives through the empowerment of empowering people with wisdom and technology. That's how I look at digital transformation. So that's kind of how I got started with this. And I'll tell you one more story really quick. I was working in corporate America. When I first got out of the military, I got a job in corporate America, doing cybersecurity, like I said, and which I believe it was the most high. I call it the most high, and it kept telling me that to quit my job, that my purpose was greater than this job, and I could feel it too, while
Hmm.
it was telling me this. But then eventually, it told me quit my job or it's going to make a way for me to get fired. And ever since then, I've been on this path to help people, to bless people, and I'm glad I did. Things haven't been perfect, especially when I first got started. It was tough, but I'm glad I went through that because now I'm a river of knowledge of information. I'm a trailblazer for people that may not know about this aspect. I've been on the stage with billionaires, multi-millionaires, hundreds of millions of dollars, helping them, explaining to them the power of technology, how it can help their company, how it can transform lives. So I'm thankful. Been in front of Microsoft, been in front of all these large companies doing this because my heart is in it because I've been set on a path and I have a purpose. And that my purpose is my gift that I have to give to the world.
No, I really like, yeah, really well said. And everyone's got their gift to share. Everyone has something that they're strong at. Some people they just haven't witnessed it yet, or they just haven't felt it yet, but they will.
Right.
Um, and the best way, I from what I can tell as well, because I'm still learning and going through the trials and tribulations, and but I can definitely tell I have this passion for
Yeah.
technology. And the more that I try different types of technology and experiment with different platforms, the more that passion
Right.
comes out of for technology, and because it can really change things for people, and you can build your entire life, your
Right.
career using
And, and,
technology.
and if you don't
Yeah,
if you
it's
don't mind
incredible.
me saying this, your your gift is something that you are born with. Your gift is something that no one can ever fire you from. No one can't fire you from what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were born with. Your gift is your birthright to the world. No one can ever take your gift. Once you die, that gift goes with you. There will never ever be another you. There will never ever be a gift just like the way that you have it. But I'm going to break down how this works and how your listeners can break this down to help people and understand how their gift can be brought to the world. So, like I said, your gift is something that you are born with. That gift is your value. So your value is in your gift. And
Hmm.
obviously, and I'll tell you about value really quick. Value is not how hard you work on your job. Value is how hard you work on yourself. That's what make people search you out. That's what make people want to hire you. So your value is in your gift, and your gift that you are born with is in your purpose. And your purpose is what you're supposed to serve to the world.
I like that. Yeah, it's a good breakdown. So I got down here, your value is in your gift. Value is not how hard you work on your job. The value is how hard you work on
Right.
yourself. And then you said your purpose was which? Your purpose is what you share
Yes,
with the
your
world?
purpose is what you give to the world, your purpose. You have to live your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So, and value is exactly what it sounds like, how people value you. I mean, you may be valuable as a person, but the world determines how valuable you are. And you may say, well, why do some people, get all this attention? And why do some people, well, they're considered more valuable? And that's because they're using
Mm-hmm.
their gift that they're born with. And that gift is their purpose
Yeah.
that they give to the world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. And like once people find that, or if they're trying to find it, I can say, keep experimenting, keep being curious, keep exploring things, exploring your passions, because you might not know it right off the bat. It's very rare for people to know it from such a young
Yep.
age. A lot of these, billionaires and millionaires, yes, some of them learn from a young age what they wanted to do. Like, they weren't even 20 by the time they knew what they wanted to do, but that's rare. Some people, it takes them till they're 40 or till they're 50 or till they're, in their 30s or late 20s to figure it out. But the key message I want to tell people and your audience and mine is, keep exploring and keep experimenting, because you will find those silver linings that will lead you to your destination that you want to go to.
So, until you're dead and gone, there's always more you can do. There's always a way that you can help people.
No, for sure. There's always different ways. And
I do have a question for you when you're done with this.
oh yeah, no,
You sure?
Go ahead. Ask away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have my thoughts on what success is, and I'll share it with your audience as well. My thoughts on success is continuously completing goals. For me,
Mm-hmm.
the more I complete goals, the more I feel success, and that success is progress, I guess. But the goal is the measurement within success. That's how I measure my success as goals. And for me, say, and I'll give you an example. And I guess this is one of the easiest ways to measure success. One of the ways is money. People may say, all right, well, when I get $1 million, I'm considered successful. But if you only but get $1 million and never keep going, that means you were successful. Success, that means it's past tense. Success has to be continuously completing those goals, whether they be small or large. That's how you know if you're successful or not. And you always have to have goals. And this is one of the reasons why people get depressed, because they'll say, all right, well, I landed on the moon. Now what? Now life is over for me. That was my goal. Well, if you had 50 more goals beyond that, like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna write the #1 best book after I land on the moon. I'm gonna write New York Times, be in New York Times somehow, or be a model. If you had those goals after, it keeps you occupied, it keeps you focused and not focused on just one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And the way that I measure success for myself, it used to be arriving at the destination, but now it's evolved. It's all about becoming the best. Success to me, becoming the best version of myself, and unlocking my full
I like that.
potential. And the way that I know that I've unlocked my full potential is I've either reached that point where I'm completely in tune and feel that I'm providing immense value to people, and I exude conviction and optimism.
That's good. That's good.
And yeah, Yeah. So it's all about continuous growth. I never want to stop growing. Success is that growth, continuous
Yep.
growth mindset, and yeah, always having you'll always have goals if you're always
That's
working on
right.
yourself. If you're someone that always works on yourself, you're always going to want to have goals. That's just the way it works. You can't
Right.
grow and not have goals. If you're not growing, then you're not achieving goal. You're not working towards goals. You're
Yep.
staying
They go hand
stagnant,
in
right?
hand.
Yeah, you grow, you go after
Right.
goals.
Right.
That's what you do. Um, and that's how it works for me, is just how can I reach that peak level of maxing out my potential? Like, what are the things I have to do? Well, because I haven't reached that point yet, all I know is for myself, I'm a very curious person. I'm very interested in exploring different things and experimenting with different things when it comes to work, career, and business. And those things up to this point have served me really well. And I know that I keep on that path. I know it's gonna unlock my full potential whenever I reach that
And
point.
stay
So
curious. People used to laugh at me.
yeah,
In
yeah,
corporate America when I would tell them I'm curious about it, so, obviously now nobody's laughing now, but, but,
yeah,
they didn't
yeah, yeah,
understand the power of being curious, wanting more.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because being curious helps you spread your
Right.
message, right, with the world, like you said, like, and then unlocking that
Right.
potential. That curiosity is what spurs tremendous action
Right.
towards something, because you're not sure about it yet. Well, if you're not sure about it, that's great, because by exploring it further, then you get to know, and then you'll be able to put the pieces together and put the pieces of that puzzle together, and slowly over time figure
Right.
it out. That's what life is, right? Or that's what our purpose is. It's kind of connect, like Steve Jobs said in one of his quotes, I think to Stanford College, was sometimes you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. Um, because yeah, in order to see how far you've come, you have to look back. Okay, what were some of the things, the pivotal moments that I did or that I took?
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, it's crazy stuff, and technology for me is going to be the catalyst for change in my life, and I know it can be the catalyst for change in a lot of other people's lives as well. And I know a lot of other people are already experiencing the fruits of their labor with utilizing technology, and building that online business. So I know that we all try it out, we all look into it, and great things can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how far your podcast is going to go. I can tell by your
Yeah,
energy and how focused you are that this thing is going to really take off. So I'm excited for
yeah,
you.
it's I know it's yeah, it's gonna take off in a big way, and being able to interact with people like yourself that have that, they want to share their message. I want this to be the medium that you can share that
Yeah.
message
Yeah.
on. And share your story, and that's what this is about, right? It's everyone sharing their stories
Hmm.
together, and gleaning those golden nuggets and that wisdom to become the best version of yourself. And everyone can gain value from everyone. Everyone's got strengths, everyone's got wisdom that they can share, and it's an honor to have you on, Paul. And yeah, if there's anything else that you want to add that was on your mind or anything like
Just
that.
real quick, because I'm in the business of helping people in digital transformation and transformation period. One of the things that I would say is, to your audience, is always read, whether that be an audio book or a physical book. Readers are leaders. Um,
Hmm.
Second thing I would tell your audience is always have a good mentor, because a good mentor is going to lead you in the direction that they have already been down. So if you can learn something at a faster rate, I would suggest you do that. So always have a good mentor and always have a good book.
Good book, yeah. And what is your process for reaching out to someone that you think would be a good mentor that you haven't necessarily met them yet? You want to get to know them. What's your process for kind of
Oh,
going
I'm
through
glad you
that?
asked that. So I have plenty of people that want me to mentor them, but to be honest, what a mentor actually looks at is, do you have promise in what you're doing? So if you don't know what way you want to go, if you're this way, that way, all confused, a mentor most likely is not going to work with you. So if you're somebody and you're gifted at something, a mentor is going to want to work with you to help you bring that gift out. So that's number one. Number two, when you approach a mentor, don't approach a mentor as what can I get from you, but what can I do for you? So approach a mentor in terms of, hey, this is what I have to offer. I can help you with this. That's going to make the mentor get back to you quicker. That's going to make the mentor want to help you even more. So those are the two that I have for you.
Yeah, yeah. And then another question for you. If someone has, that you're curious about, gaining mentorship from, or just some sort of feedback and what you're doing, if from what you said for reaching out to them and such, what would be the best like course of action if you know exactly where you want to go, but you're not sure how to provide them with value and give back to them? Like how would you give back to your mentor if they've kind of already achieved everything that they want to achieve and they're at that elite level? How can someone that's kind of starting off but has tremendous passion for what they're doing, they're just not sure how to give back to those people that have helped, that might be able to help them out as far as like wisdom and such?
So, like I said again, it's about value. Do you bring enough
Mm-hmm.
value to the mentor? Now, the mentor can have, they can be very what we call successful, or they can have all the money in the world, but there is when you approach someone, you have to understand that you can do something, and like I said, you're gifted at something that no one else can do as well as you.
Is
So that's how I would approach
right,
them,
right.
saying you can help them with this and that, and just tell them, hey, I would like you to mentor me as well. But you're reaching out to them, asking them what you can do for them first. You're not asking them for anything when you reach out to them. You're asking what you can do for them. I promise that works.
Right. Okay.
Believe
Okay.
me.
Yeah, because I'm curious, because I know there's been a lot of people that have had on the podcast, and definitely some of them I want to talk to further. I'm just not sure how to reach out to them about that, or how I can be of service. So that's good to know. So I'll just
for
ask, yeah,
for a
what I can do for
podcast,
them.
I would start with telling them you can help them get their message out because that's what they want.
Yeah,
So know what they
yeah,
want
no,
and
exactly, yeah, and
offer.
that's so far that's what I've been saying too, and it's been
Yeah,
working really well. Nine times out of 10, everyone that I reach out to
that's cool.
says yes because they want to share their story. And I'm like, it's a win-win. You get to share your story to a medium that, again, I don't know if you know about this, Paul, but this Anchor app, it distributes all these episodes of my podcast from my interviews that I have to all of the podcasting platforms. So wherever your audience is, if they listen on Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, once this is released, then and published, then it goes onto all the platforms for
That's
your audience to
amazing. I
listen
can't
to.
wait to
So
share this with my audience.
yeah, yeah. And just so you know, once our episode's concluded, I'll send you a link. I'll edit the audio and I'll send you the audio link so you can
Okay,
share it with your audience. And then also the social media post. I can attach that
great.
in the
I'm
email as
I'm
well.
I'm excited. About how long will it take for you to get this out?
I can get this out to you early afternoon, so it's close to 1 p.m. your time. I can probably get it out within the
Oh
hour,
wow,
hour
that's
and a half.
fast. Okay, great. I'm like I said, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, super excited and happy to have you on. And then how else can we reach you? Your website or social
yep.
media?
So I normally like to be on LinkedIn the most. I think LinkedIn works
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of what I'm trying to do. So you can reach me at www.linkedin.com/in/Innovate Tech Charlotte. Um,
Okay.
or just look up my name, Paul Day, CEO and founder of Innovate Tech Charlotte, and I will pop up. So that's what I like
Sounds
to use the
good.
most. So
Awesome. Well, an honor to have you on, Paul, and I really appreciate you sharing your story with our audience. And I look forward to having you on
thank you so
very
much.
soon.
And you're in Canada, right? Cool.
I am. Yeah,
Cool.
that's correct.
That's cool.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, you take care, Paul, and look
All
forward to
right.
having you
Thanks,
on
sir.
soon. I thank you all for listening to the Will to Win podcast of this special guest series. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave me a comment, like, and subscribe to my podcast to hear more episodes like these. And also, leave me a 5-star review. If you enjoyed this episode, you like the content, give me a 5-star review if you liked it. And then if you had some additional feedback for me, let me know that as well. I always appreciate honest feedback because I want to make sure that this show is the best. Best podcast and best show for what I'm the message I'm trying to share with my audience about helping millennial professionals reach peak mental and physical performance. Take care.